Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another exciting edition. Back on a Wednesday night. It's kind of rare, the two of us. It's been a minute. It's media night, as we used to call it, and we're back ranking Marvel Cinematic Universe Phase 4. It's your boy Jew here, still petitioning for that damn Inhumans Omnibus, and I'm joined by the fabulous comics guy. Lou, how you doing, brother?
I was tired, but I'm here. I'm really tired.
Same. Sorry that we started a little late. We got some logistic issues behind the scenes, but we're here and we're gonna rank some stuff and have some fun with all of you on the chat. Today is International Check Your Wipers Day. Tasty Melon, if you can, if it's not too much of a burden, and you want 1,000 Omnibros points every time we do a stream, and if there's an International Day thing, point it out for sure. I want to highlight that stuff because I like that sort of weird trivia. So shout out to all the wipers today, unless that's a code for something else. But check your wipers in your cars, make sure they're working properly. Thank you to the chat as always. Tasty Melon is actually first. I don't know why he typed second. William Lee, thank you so much for joining, everybody. James recently saw IGN's MCU Phase 4 ranking and disagreed with Wakanda Forever. Definitely needs to be higher. Well, we're going to do our own ranking here, and this one's going to be badass and official, unlike any other website. But speaking of badass things and superheroes, you guys got to check out our sponsor's website. That is, of course, InStockTrades.com, your home for all things collected editions. Your home for omnis, trade paperbacks, manga, hardcovers, and so much more. Deals up to 50% off. Loyalty discounts tack on an extra 2% to that if you make an order week by week. And if you place an order of $50 or more, you get free shipping. Fantastic customer service, wonderful packaging. That's InStockTrades.com. And last Monday, we talked about the books that we thought were going to get discounted, and we mostly got it right. We talked about Grayson, and I think I thought of mentioning Ultimates, but didn't say anything. I think I said the Marvel Masterworks were going to get discounted at 50% off, or the deals of the week, I should say. But in turn, it was the Ultimates Omnibus, Young Justice. You got Grayson Omnibus reprint, the Batman Spawn hardcover, some good stuff, and a couple manga as well, all that fun stuff. So yeah, go check it out. There's Die with the two covers, the DCBS and the regular. Definitely check out InStockTrades.com for your collected editions needs. Alrighty, so shout out to IST for that. Thank you, everybody. Mm-hmm. What are we doing tonight, Lou? Inform the people.
We are ranking all of the Marvel Phase 4 releases. Everything has pretty much come out with the exception of the Christmas special, but I doubt that's going to change our ranking that much if we go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're kind of going to go through the list and stuff like that real quick, and we're going to see where we feel Phase 4 lands in total. Personally, just kind of a heads up, I think Phase 4 is probably the weakest out of all the phases that we've had so far.
It's because it's sort of like starting anew, and I like that Phase 4. If you look at all the TV show plots and the movie plots, it's mostly about pain, suffering, grief, and overcoming all of that. All of the movies and shows share that, and it makes sense post Endgame that they would tackle those subjects.
Yeah.
So I like that aspect. Also, they're opening up for, because this is the multiverse saga or whatever. So they're opening everything up for the introduction of Kang and other elements or whatever. So it's a little disjointed. I think the next phase will start making more sense. But I do agree it's one of the weaker ones.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I think overall it's not as strong. It kind of reminds me back to maybe Phase 2 when they were setting up a lot of stuff in Phase 2, and then it paid off in Phase 3. A lot of people tend to forget that the MCU was not the MCU until probably really into phase 3, at the beginning of phase 3, when you had a clear goal of, okay, they're setting up Infinity War, they're setting up Endgame, Thanos is clearly the villain and stuff like that, and that's what they're shooting for and building towards. So I kind of think that that's where we're at right now.
Yeah. Well, we got a quick cam. There we go.
Hey, Gabe.
There he is.
What up, everybody? Welcome in.
Welcome.
Thanks, everybody, for showing up for us.
Yeah, baby.
Phase 4.
Let me get my charger real quick.
Get your charger. You're going to need that to figure out what you need to rank all these things at. And I don't know. Are we doing... In my head, I haven't really did the ranking yet. I'll just do it live and just figure it out as we go along. But are we separating the movies from like the Disney Plus stuff, or are we ranking all that together?
I have a tier list ready that includes everything: TV shows and movies.
That's okay. We'll figure it out because that's gonna be. I think that's gonna be fun and hard at the same time. Is trying to figure out how the Disney Plus stuff kind of like relates and is judged compared to a movie, you know?
Yeah. So
is there music playing on this?
Sorry, what was that?
Are you playing music in the background for this?
Yes.
I thought I heard the ice cream truck. I was like,
just to spice things up. I have the list here. We're gonna go S, A, B, C, D, F, and here are all the Phase 4 thingamajigs, movies, and TV shows. Also, I didn't do it, but Gabe loves 90s comics. Welcome aboard, sir. I didn't introduce you as you came in. Sorry.
It's all good. Everybody knows who I am. At least you should.
Hell yeah. So let's get started. The first one here on this mini list, in no particular order, let's go with the first one here, Hawkeye, the TV show. Where would you guys place it on this ranking from F to S? S
S is supposed to be like God tier, right? That's like super best level. Best. Okay. Yeah. Hawkeye. I
loved it.
I did too, but I don't know if I S love it, or if I A love it, or if I B love it.
I would put it as a solid B. I think it's definitely one of the strong. The surprising thing for me about it was that it was definitely one of the stronger entries in these TV shows that Marvel's been doing. I think it was very, very good, and it caught me off guard.
Yeah, no, I think it was great too. I'm thinking I'm stuck between A and B. We'll figure it out, but B's fine. But I was thinking maybe A, just because of just how well and unexpected that this was. I mean, it's a Christmas movie, TV show. It's a Christmas show.
Yeah,
but it also introduces like a whole new Hawkeye. Who just perfectly introduced Kate Bishop, and they did a really good job with Echo as well.
Yeah. I love Kate Bishop. She was great. Tony Daniel is fantastic, as you would expect. I mean, he's great in Better Call Saul, but he steals everything he's in too.
Yeah, and also I think it's also, I think it's a little special too because it also is the first. Yeah, it was the first one, right? No, Kingpin. Maybe I'm wrong, but I know it's connected to Daredevil now because Kingpin shows up in it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that was the first time. I don't know if this came before or after Spider-Man, but it brought in that universe, or it connected that Netflix series.
Yeah, it confirmed that all the Netflix stuff is still canon somewhat. I think Hawkeye was great, but I think it should have been a movie, honestly, instead of a TV show, because the plot isn't that complex where you need 6-hour-long episodes.
Right. Oh, and they also introduced White Widow in it too, or brought her back in, and that probably was like one of my favorite scenes. Is when she showed up and she just eating mac and cheese with Kate Bishop talking about they need sriracha sauce for it. That's just it was a fun. It had a little bit of everything. It was fun and action and stuff like that.
You know what? I'm gonna go with Gabe on. Yeah, let's put it up. Let's bump it up to A. I really think this deserves the A spot. It's a lot of fun. It's straightforward all the way through. I do agree with Gio though that I think they could have cut a little bit of the fat out and made a really badass, fun action film, and I think this would have done really well in theaters.
Plus, we had a really cute dog for Lucky, the pizza dog.
Yes, we did.
So that immediately makes it an A-tier show.
And a Tracksuit Mafia.
Oh, yeah. Bro.
You know what? I've never read the Hawkeye series, and that's all I know about it, is how some people were so just turned off by how many times they used bro in the first few episodes.
People were going crazy on Twitter with the bro stuff.
I remember that. It was so nuts about it. Yeah.
It is probably the second best thing that Matt Fraction has written. Right behind I think Jimmy Olsen's the best thing he's ever written.
Hayden said, I think the Kingpin reveal episode released the same day as Spider-Man. So Fisk and Matt made their comeback at the same time. So that's interesting.
So we're good with A.
Mm-hmm.
Raphael Miranda says the LARP episodes make it a B-.
A little bit hokey.
I like
but
those.
it's all right.
Does LARP mean something different than what I think it means?
Live action roleplay.
Yeah, I don't remember live action roleplay episodes.
Yeah, when he goes to the LARP kids and
okay, no, I forgot about that part.
Yeah,
and those are the ones that made their suits. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
It's a minor thing, but it's still pretty fun. What it is.
Let's go with something more controversial. At least. What about She-Hulk?
Controversial that Hayden also says that the LARPers stole the episode or stole the show. Hulk, She-Hulk. I
love the hell out of this. I'm gonna be honest with you. I understand why a lot of people did not like this and hated the ending. Hated it. But this was my bag. I really enjoyed it.
I agree with Hayden. I think it's a solid B. Honestly.
I was going to say a C, but yeah, it's again. That's why I thought this was going to be hard. This is the fun part to try and figure this out: how to compare these TV shows to multi-billion-dollar budget movies, right? Everybody wants to compare special effects from Endgame to special effects on She-Hulk, and you can't do that. Same with, and I think that encompasses everything about these shows. Is you're not going to get big characters, you're not going to get big set pieces, you're not going to get big crazy storylines that require big crazy set pieces. It's a sitcom, it's the same 5 sets for the most part, right? Mm-hmm. But that's why I enjoy it, is because it is that, but it had no bearing to the current. It didn't move the needle, I think, of the stories for anything.
I wish personally that it had more of a I get what they were going for. I get the format. I wish that the through line story that was connecting the episodes together involving the Abomination was stronger.
Yeah,
because I think that was pretty weak. The ending is just fucking nuts.
I think the ending's great. I think that's
the ending. Yeah.
I can see where people are turned off by it, and those are people who either haven't read the comic yet, right, or they did and they didn't like that kind of silly breaking the wall fourth stuff either. It just didn't turn them on, right?
Yes,
and that's fine, and that's it's their complaint, and it is what it is. But that's what I like about it, is that was fun and silly and right out of the comics. Like that really and it was fun. It made sense to the story for the most part, and it was silly, and it was. I think that was its intention. I think they nailed it.
Yeah,
and I like how they nailed the entire weird Twitter feedback or internet feedback they got about all the woke and the female of this and that, right? And it was already in the script and they already filmed it. Like they called it, and they just made that echo chamber of those kinds of comments just even sillier, because they were already it was like Eminem bagging on himself at the end of 8 Mile, where Anthony Mackie had nothing to say on him anymore. It was like that, but they still attempted to.
Well, they knew. I mean, those YouTube channels and those individuals are so fucking predictable at this point. So they were like, yeah, we know what all the bullshit that you're gonna say, all the same critiques that you're gonna use against us. We know it's all dumb, and you regurgitate the same shit for views every week. With that said, I watched this. My wife really loved She-Hulk. She had a blast with it until the very end, where she was going, I have no fucking clue what's going on.
Yeah, and that's understandable. She's not one of us.
Right. I get that. So it felt like the ending was specifically made for, okay, we're going to alienate a few people. This probably won't work. We're going to experiment with it. But for the comic fans, the real ones that read the books, they're probably going to dig this and get what's going on. And I dug it. I dug the ending. I thought it was fun.
Yeah. I just don't think it was enough. I think it was C. It was middle tier stories for who I think is a great character, and I would like to see how she looks and what kind of motivations and storylines she gets, that she can be promoted to like a bigger movie where she shows up in Avengers or something like that, and see what a bigger budget can do for this character,
and a bigger budget for the graphics, because I was really annoyed by the CGI.
Yeah, it was off. It was very, it was low budget. It was, and that's how these series. It's like any TV show. They always save. They always kind of cheap out on the CGI as much as they can, and save it for a bigger episode. They do that a lot with The Flash, where there'll be episodes where there's no real CGI, and then the next episode will be super CGI heavy, right? Yeah. And it's a budget game, and I get it, but I would like to see her just, $100 million budget behind her or something like that. Like, I want to see what she can do, what they can do with her with more money.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so I think a C is pretty good for us.
I hope this isn't a one and done. I hope they bring her back for a lot more stuff. Tatiana Maslany is fantastic. She nails the character.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to see more She-Hulk. I hope they do another season at least.
There you go. So we're good with C?
Yep.
Okay. Let's spice it up a bit and not go with the show. Let's go with Black Widow.
D.
Oh, D, dude. I was going to say B.
No, D. Ooh. I thought it was just okay. It was just, The best thing about it is that we get Florence Pugh as the White Widow. And God, she is so good. She is so much better than almost everybody in that movie. She steals the movie.
And she's great.
She steals the movie, and every scene she's in, despite the the accent is okay. But hey, it's comparative. You're comparing her to Wanda Maximoff, which is no Laurence Olivier herself, right? So she's great, and I think she's really the huge saving grace for me of this movie.
I think Scarlett Johansson was like the weakest part of this movie. Like you're saying, White Widow was awesome.
Yep.
Red Guardian was great. He's still David Harbour is amazing. And everything he's done. Hellboy. Different stories sometimes, but he's great in everything he does. I'm glad they're bringing him back. So, but I like this because that opening scene was like the most intense, like anxiety-ridden scene that I've ever seen in a Marvel movie. That whole part was great. Like, not the opening scene, but when they actually. The airplane chase. That stuff. That was great. No, I think I liked it a little bit more because I think it came out at the wrong time. Like it should have came out a lot earlier. It should have came out right after Endgame, like it was supposed to. But things happen, and I think that might have hurt it. But I think its intention and everything it got out of it was great. C for Black Widow. Max Adelman, you think Black Widow was a weaker character than Taskmaster, though? I meant like the main stars. Taskmaster's another reason maybe to bump that down a little bit. That was me as a comic book fanboy was not what I wanted out of Taskmaster.
Taskmaster wasn't even a character in the movie. It was just it could have been just a shell, which it pretty much was, of a person.
Yeah,
like a drone villain.
Yeah, it was just terrible.
And I'm surprised they're bringing her back for Thunderbolts because, like you're saying, there was no personality, there was no character. It was just a killing machine. So it's weird that they're bringing that character back.
I agree with you guys. I think this came out way too late. I think had this come out pre-Endgame, this would have been better. And it kind of helps Endgame because you actually feel her death a lot more. But, after Endgame, it's like, well, her story's kind of closed. I really don't care too much about this character, Black Widow. But hey, we're at least getting the White Widow.
Yeah.
And she's really more fun and cooler than Black Widow is.
Yeah, that was one of the biggest misses. Just that you see Black Widow, I'm like, I already know her story. Why do I want to go back? So a lot of people probably skip the movie because of that.
Well, Rafael Miranda, Black Widow is a B. I agree. There's no way Black Widow is below She-Hulk.
I think it should be at least with She-Hulk.
Raphael's going to be fighting with us all night. I can already see it.
Just bring it, man. This is what's going to make this fun. I like the discussion.
Yeah, I can already see it. For me, this whole was a 2 hour. We're just going to introduce the White Widow because she's the main character going forward. That was all it was for me. I was like, okay, well, it was okay, and the action was.
Yeah. I didn't like the final act of the movie, but overall, I thought it was fun.
Let me ask you guys though: did you see it in theater or Disney
No,
Plus?
I waited for streaming on Disney.
You waited for streaming?
Disney Plus.
Oh, wait, did it go out of the theater? Am I crazy? Am I gaslighting myself, or was that never in theaters?
It was. I'm pretty sure it was.
Wasn't it simultaneously released?
Yeah, it was day and date.
It was one of those.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't remember. That was a while ago. I forgot how I saw it.
Then Scarlett Johansson sued Disney because
of the streaming behind it, or how that took money from the box.
So for Scarlett, I'm gonna bump it up to C. Sorry.
Okay.
C works. I mean, I'm in the B realm. I agree, but yeah, C.
Well,
I don't think it's any worse.
We'll look at the overall picture once we're done and rearrange stuff.
Okay, let's see. This is fun. Okay, I thought these were like set in stone.
Let's do Moon Knight next.
Ooh.
D.
Damn.
D.
That's D for damn. Okay.
I'm not too far off from where Gabe is, so yeah, I'll go with the D on this one. That first episode of Moon Knight was badass, dude. It was a great introduction to the character. You're like, man, this is really cool. They're doing a lot of cool stuff with it. It plays with the whole multiple personality thing, and then we get about 3 episodes of almost nothing.
Exactly. If you're talking about it, this should have been another thing that should have just been a movie. It should have been this. Like, there's like it was like an episode of Dragon Ball Z where there was like 3 or 4 filler episodes before anything really happened.
Mm-hmm.
And then even whatever did happen, just there wasn't enough Moon Knight. I think it's what it is for me. There wasn't enough of him in the Moon Knight suit doing Moon Knight stuff. It was a lot more of God. What's the character's name? I'm gonna say Mark Spector, but that's the cool version.
Yeah. Who
was the one that we were following for most of the show? The kind of wimpy guy.
The British persona.
I don't know.
I can't remember the name.
Dang it.
Now.
Ethan Hawke is great in this, though, as the main antagonist. I thought he was really good.
Stephen Grant.
There you go, Grant. Yeah, Stephen Grant. But yeah, no. Yeah, he was great as the character, as the villain, but he wasn't like. He didn't feel like the main threat. Not anything about him as an actor, but I think his character never really felt like a main threat after a while. It was just kind of just a silly guy, and then it turned into more of a CGI monster kind of movie.
I will say, I thought Oscar Isaac did a fantastic job, and the reason I love the show so much, unlike the chat and you guys, is because of his performance. And I really liked the final 2 episodes, and what they did with him, even though that's not like Moon Knight's story 100% in the comics. I thought what we got, I enjoyed, but I understand the criticism completely.
No, I wish I would have had your experience. I wanted to like these things. You know, I don't go watching these shows thinking I'm going to hate it or wanting to hate it. I wanted to like it. It's Moon Knight. I just wanted to see more Moon Knight and more of the like street level Moon Knight.
Yeah.
You know, more in the streets beating up thugs and things like that. It really went hard left on the crazy like religion kind of creatures of the night kind of thing for me for this.
Well, the afterlife and death and stuff like that has been kind of the theme for this past phase, because we started to see it in Thor, we see it in Moon Knight and Black Panther and the new one and stuff like that, what the afterlife is like. And they flat out say it, I think it was in Thor, that the afterlife in the MCU is whatever it is you pretty much believe in. If your faith is in the Egyptian stuff, that is your afterlife and all that other stuff. So I think that's really interesting stuff. My favorite episode is probably the one where he's on the ferry and he's heading towards the afterlife, and he's being with the giant hippo god. I forgot her name. But I thought that was really cool. And I'm like, man, this is weird, but it's super fun. And it's different from the other 4 episodes that it took to get us here that were just boring.
Lou, you remember when we did the review of one of the episodes where he fights the jackal dog? And they decided to make the monster invisible to save money.
God, that was bad. Yeah.
I did not like. I thought that was super cheap.
And it's so apparent that that's kind of what they were doing. They're like, well, we gotta. The budget is gonna get blown out later on. So
yeah. Well, I'm gonna follow. It's 2 against 1. I'm gonna leave it at D.
All right. Oh, dude, the whole chat is like F, D. Like they're really like it was, and I agree with their criticism that it was good for the first few episodes and then it went down. But
yeah.
So shout out to everybody in the chat for joining in on that. That was good.
Next up is Miss Marvel.
I never finished it.
No, because you didn't like it, or
I just fell off of it. Honestly,
fell off of it?
I've always meant to go back to it, but from what I saw, it's nothing terrible. It was fun. It was.
I put it like at an A.
Really?
I thought it was great.
Okay. So don't take my word into account here, but I mean, from what I saw, I'd probably put it as like a C, B.
Okay.
I want to go straight D, honestly.
Oh my god!
I really liked it.
All right, so we're gonna lower it then because that's 2 against 1.
Why though?
There's a main reason why. You all know why I didn't like the show, but that's not influencing the score. In all honesty, it was fun, and the cast of characters were great, and the acting and the representation and all that stuff, loved it. But the overall plot, I don't know. I wasn't too excited with the whole show. It felt like the weakest super heroics out of everything in this list. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh man, I enjoyed it. I looked forward to like every week, and it was like one of the few movies or these shows where I stay for the credits because the credit scenes were so cool.
That was really cool.
Yeah, I liked how it was. They did everything. I thought right for it, other than apparently making her a mutant. No, you guys both said D, right? So or D and C.
No, I'll follow you guys.
Okay. Well, I was saying A, so you guys are in agreement as opposed to me.
C or B. So.
Okay, we're gonna balance it out at B. We'll come back to it.
Poor Inhumans. Sooner or later.
Thank you, Dean. Miss Marvel is F. Inhumans disgraced once more. I was so pissed off with that retcon.
I saw it trending on Twitter, and I looked at what it was, and I said, "Oh no."
I agree. That was bad. They could have just left it out. I mean, they changed enough with the character, like with her powers and stuff, right? But
yeah.
But then like that, where it's like again, I guess I didn't like how they didn't really. Apparently, they're making her a mutant, but yeah,
it's not like the X-Men fans are clamoring for Miss Marvel. Right. They want to see the other mutants and not her.
That's true. No one cares because nobody cares about Miss Marvel as a mutant because she's never been a mutant before.
Yeah,
they could have just left it alone. Like, there was no point of even saying anything, so they could have left it ambiguous and they could make her an Inhuman later or something.
Yeah,
Terrigen Miss Bomb and everything.
Next up is Shang-Chi.
S.
A.
S.
Oh, okay, I'll go S. I
love Shang-Chi. I walked out of the theater going, man, that was really good. And I've now seen it so many times, and I love it more and more every single time I watch it. I think it's the strongest villain, second strongest villain of this phase.
I was going to do A, but it's a solid movie nonetheless.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think everything about this is great. It's a whole new character that they introduce. It's a whole new actor. Like that's, the actor is a completely unknown. I think they nailed everything. Because this is like, I thought we were going to go more into a genre phase because of this. Because now we're getting kung fu movies, right? And they did this pretty darn well as a kung fu movie, like with the fights and the choreography and the things like that. It's not a straight up like Japanese kung fu film, but they nailed the martial arts. They nailed the wires and stuff like that. Unlike they did like Iron Fist and other kind of like kung fu films that they tried to do before, but they nailed it. So that was exciting. The whole story made sense. It was easy to follow. It kind of retconned the stupid Mandarin that we got through the Iron Man series and stuff like that. So I think that I give that extra credit for erasing that for the most part, at least making that more to this character like it should have been, So yeah, definitely A. I said A, you guys said A, S. Let's make it S. I agree. This is great.
He's not a fan of Mandarin.
Oh no, this Mandarin was great. As opposed to, did you think the Mandarin from the Iron Man film was not a joke?
I think he hated the original Iron Man 3 stuff too.
Oh yeah, thank you. Jeez,
I enjoyed it. Yeah, this I think the first half of this is a lot stronger. Then Marvel kind of falls into the same Marvel-y tropes that they tend to fall into, where it's a big CGI fest at the end. But it's a shit ton of fun. It's a great movie, great introduction to a new character, great mythology, and I can't fucking wait to get another one.
Yeah, I left immediately wanting more. Like, I want a sequel.
Yeah.
Even Aquafina, who I thought, oh man, she's horrible. She bothers me. But she was
great.
I was all in it with her. I don't think she should have been involved in the ending like fight scene with all the martial arts experts and stuff like that. But whatever.
I think what I want to know in the sequel, or I want to know what happened to the post-credit scene, because they never addressed that stuff in any project of Phase 4.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They mentioned the rings were like a beacon of something.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it's supposed to tie into Kang, or if it's supposed to be, I don't know, Fing Fang Fu. Who knows? But I want to know. Please, Mark. Let's do that. So what do we do? S or A?
S.
S.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's do the S. Let's get this out of the way. Wakanda Forever. Black
C.
Panther 2.
I'm
A.
gonna put C for me.
Okay, so it's between C and A.
Oh, actually, you know what? S.
Really?
I'm gonna say, dude, I think it was amazing.
Namor.
Great.
I think Namor is the best villain this phase. I will give you that. I think he's by far the best villain they've had this phase.
I was in the camp. And I felt like I was the only one. I think Lou, you might have been in this camp with me. That when Chadwick Boseman died, that I did not want them to recast.
Still am.
I wanted them to recast. I'm sorry. I wanted them to recast and not go this route. I thought, Black Panther is a character that's been around forever, for generations, more than this actor has, and that attachment, whatever. But they went this route, and I think this is the best way they could have gone, going this route. I think that they did the best thing with the funeral and how he died by an undisclosed disease. Spoilers, everybody. All of that, I think, really fits in with this story, and I think it goes through to Namor's story about how you have to be a broken person in order to be a leader. And then you see Shuri go through being broken over and over again with her brother, and then the other things that happened in the film and things like that. I think those connections and those story points were great, and then the stupid after credit scene was the worst.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm giving this a C. I did not love it. I think I like the first film a little bit better. I think they sell you on the concept of the movie's only like a week or two old, so I'm not going to ruin it. Who is it that takes up the mantle? They sell you on it really well, and that individual really puts their heart and soul into it, and you can tell they were probably feeling it on set as they were making this movie about Chadwick's loss, so they really wanted to nail this right. For me, it was almost a generic Marvel movie. It was fun, it was great, but it wasn't anything that blew my socks off. Namor, I think, fucking crushes it. I think he's absolutely the best part about this movie. I could get a whole film just on him.
Please,
I'd be good. I just want that. And I don't know. I mean, okay. So fair warning for me, because usually this doesn't affect me, and I really don't think that it would affect me. But I'm just putting it out there just so nobody gets pissed and stuff like that. This whole movie was spoiled about a year ago. I don't know what happened, but every single beat of this movie was posted and spoiled online about a year ago.
I remember that.
Everything. And I was really surprised watching it, going, wow, whoever got in there and found out, it literally every beat was spoiled. And I was like, man, okay. But usually that doesn't affect my enjoyment. Still, I thought it's a solid film overall. I don't think it's as good as the first. And it's carried by the fact that the emotional weight is really, really hindered on the fact that Chadwick passed away in real life, and you feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I forgot what's her name. Chadwick's mom in the movie. I forgot the actual name.
Angela Bassett.
Tina Turner.
Angela Bassett is acting circles around everybody else. She is giving it her, like she is giving the Oscar.
That scene when they capture all the the soldiers and bring them into like the UN meeting or whatever it was. That was intense. That was
Yeah.
like one of the best parts she did. Yeah.
Yeah, she is giving an Oscar fucking performance in this movie. Ironheart, you didn't really need her in the movie, to be honest with you. I get why she's there because they've got the series coming up later, but she's all right.
She didn't annoy me as much as I thought. I thought she was gonna be another like silly kid character. I thought she was gonna be like 12 or something, but she was 19 and had some kind of street edge to her a little bit, you know. But the suit was silly and she didn't do much. Outside of that, I think it was cool that her plot was like the main plot of the story for the most part. That was kind of the framing sequence and things for.
And she is getting her own series next year. So,
but her in the suit and stuff like that, wasn't the best. But it's cool.
I'm not gonna lie, MCU Reed better be worried because if I was Sue Storm, I'd drop him for Tenoch Namor in a heartbeat.
Oh, he tapping that.
Namor.
Yeah, I really enjoyed how he explained the origin of his name. Namor. I was like, wow.
Namor?
That's really smart.
He said Namor. I was like, oh, dude, have I been saying his name wrong this entire time? And he was like the only one who said it in that manner, but that was cool.
By far the coolest thing about this movie was Namor. Like, by far. Yeah. And the whole Mesoamerican and how they tied all that stuff into the...
It worked.
Atlantis was awesome. Well, it's not called Atlantis in the movie, but it was really cool how they put everything together.
Doing the stuff with like the sirens, the mermaids. That was the scariest thing to me, dude. I was like, that is so fucked up.
It was great. I love that. I also love the little Haryukin.
Yeah,
the little
that's our new sign.
Yeah, the little Kamehameha wave that they had going on for us Latinos out there. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, very cool. All right, what's next?
So what are we leaving it at S?
Oh, did you see it, Gio? What did you think?
No, I know all that happens because I read the summary, but I haven't seen it.
Lou, where'd you put it at? You said D?
I said C.
C, so make it a B. That's in the middle.
In the middle, all right.
That's compromise. I go down, you go up.
Okay.
Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness.
B.
Ooh, that's a tough one. C for me.
I was gonna say A, honestly.
The Illuminati was the only thing that interested me in this at all, and they weren't in it that much.
The people are gonna make fun of me, but I went with A because of a certain character that shows up in the movie, and I was really excited.
What character?
With Black Bolt.
Oh yeah, of course. I was excited to see that too, but that got spoiled for me. I've never been spoiled. I'm usually pretty good about staying away from that stuff, and then it hit me one day at a restaurant, and I was so mad. I was excited, but I was mad because I wanted to feel that experience of Reed Richards being there and Black Bolt being there, like in the theater experience.
And Namor was supposed to be in there, but they wanted to use him for the Black Panther movie, so they skipped it.
Yeah, I really hope they bring that guy back as Black Bolt because he looked great in that suit. Like, oh man, and that just proves you can do full suits like that, full face masks and stuff like that. Hopefully for the X-Men, like Wolverine, and pull it off and look good. I suppose how he looked in the TV series.
Who is an A? Why? Because it's Sam Raimi having fun with his style. I just like that it leaned into Raimi's style with the horror and comedy and all that stuff. I dug it a lot.
Yeah, I liked it for that too. I just think it's just the Wanda storyline was kind of weak. I felt I was like, you're gonna go, kidnap some other kids or kill someone else's mother because you lost your kids that weren't real, right? It was just weird, and I thought they kind of settled that at the end of WandaVision, but I guess not. Yeah, so they kind of brought it back, but
almost all the character work she had in WandaVision thrown out the window for this.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, I wasn't really getting into it at that point, America Chavez was cool. I wish we'd have gotten more of her. She was less needed in it than I think Riri Williams was. Like she didn't have to be a part of that at all. I thought
she was a MacGuffin.
But I liked her. She was cool.
America Chavez was nothing more than a MacGuffin, really, in the movie. We just kind of need her for the power set and what we're kind of doing so we can get from point A to point B in the plot. Yeah. It was okay. Overall, I think the best part of the movie is the fucking ending is everything that is Sam Raimi in this is awesome, is so good. And you can see where the bits of Sam Raimi are. It's everything that is Marvel in this that just does not work with everything that is Sam Raimi for me. Like the ending where he resurrects his own corpse and he uses it to fight Wanda and little demons and stuff are popping out. I'm like, this is 100% Sam Raimi's baby, and this is awesome. This is really cool.
I just like it just because of Reed Richards. That's it. I really hope they bring John Krasinski back. I hope they can get that to work.
I mean, I would be upset because the whole idea of variants in the Marvel stuff, they all look alike. So it doesn't make sense to bring in another actor to play Reed Richards in the Fantastic Four movie. Then why? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I hope they don't. I hope they bring him back. I hope they don't make that a one-time thing and play with us that way because he's perfect.
He's good. He's great in the role.
Yeah.
So my thing is with the Illuminati is you could have almost cut the Illuminati out of this movie and it would not change almost a damn thing in this movie.
It's true.
That felt more like fan service because hey, the fans really want this. They want John Krasinski as Reed Richards. They want certain characters back for this. Let's throw them in here. And they have since said John Krasinski I think they even said he wasn't even on set for when they were filming this. His stuff was filmed later.
Right.
So that kind of makes sense. My issue with this is we're introducing the Illuminati. 5 minutes later, the Illuminati are fucking dead.
Yeah. So are we not going to get that when you do the incursion stuff, I wonder? Or is that when we get this version of the Illuminati? Because they're going to do incursions. Like they mentioned it in this film. Yeah. So I hope we get them back for that. Or they, remake the actual Illuminati with Namor and Black Panther. That'd be cool.
Hayden says the Wanda stuff annoys me because she wasn't supposed to go villain here. It was meant to be a threaded arc over many movies, but the writer said he didn't want to let another movie have her as the bad guy. I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we all know she's going to return. Come on now.
Yeah.
There's an Agatha series coming. We don't really see her demise when the rocks fall on top of her or whatever. She'll be back. They all come back. So what do we do? So let's see. I said A. What do we do?
Where did Lou put it?
Let's see.
Where you go? I said B.
A, B, C.
That B. That's one up for you and one down for from Lou.
Yeah, let's end that at B.
Okay. Next up, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Ooh, B.
C.
I'm gonna go straight D, honestly.
Okay. Wow. I don't disagree. I didn't know if I'm gonna be that harsh on it, but I can understand why you don't like it too.
You didn't like getting beat over the head on the last episode with their message?
No. And the villains I did not like. They nerfed Winter Soldier again.
Oh my god, they cut this man's balls off completely. Jesus Christ. And Marvel has this fucking habit lately, and it's starting to piss me off, where they introduce really badass villains, and they are almost unkillable. They're amazing. And then in the next series or the next movie or whatever, they cut their balls off, and they mean absolutely almost jack shit.
Yeah, or they make them like anti-villains or something like
that.
Yeah.
They did it the same. They did the same thing with Thanos. They got to be careful with that shit because they're starting to overuse Thanos, and they've been using him a lot, especially with the What If stuff. And then you introduce Thanos in that What If episode, and then Vision cuts him right in half, and I'm like, why the fuck didn't Vision do that before?
Yeah,
exactly.
So you're big bad for the entirety of your last three phases. You've undermined him by saying, yeah, Vision could have killed him almost any time doing so and so thing. So, and they've done the same thing with Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier in his film was the fucking Terminator. In this, he is a bitch with a capital B. I will stand by that. He is pathetic.
I don't disagree. No, you're right. I don't. I agree with that. Same thing with like the thing with Thanos. Like he's supposed to be like the biggest, baddest guy ever.
At the beginning of the series, Falcon is murdering terrorists left and right. I thought that was pretty funny because he's like kicking them into the burning helicopter and it explodes. I'm like, Jesus Christ, okay. Damn,
for this series, I don't remember much of anything that happened. I just was completely disinterested in the whole thing. I watched it, but I was just disinterested in the whole thing.
The only good stuff I thought the U.S. agent plotline was entertaining. and it goes nowhere because we all know they were setting him up for Thunderbolts. So, like, he shows up, and you think he's going to be one of the villains.
Yeah, it's one of those things where the main villain, the guy you thought was going to be the villain, is like they take him out halfway through.
Yeah, he shows up towards the end, like, okay, we're gonna be.
And then the rest of the time they're chasing around that young woman or whatever. Yeah. Blech.
So what do we do with this one?
D?
I'm gonna leave it at D.
It D. I'll accept the D on that.
That was rough stuff, dude.
Thor: Love and Thunder.
F minus, fucking Z plus, dude. Fuck this movie.
I will let Gabe have the floor on this.
Yes. This movie was absolute trash. This is like the worst experience I've had in a film since I've probably seen like Master of Disguise. Okay, like if I would have saw this on an airplane, I would have walked out. Like, this movie was fucking garbage.
Love it.
So you get Thor from Ragnarok, and they made him a little, not silly, but they made him kind of extra funny in Ragnarok, right? And then it's like it's those things that every corporate anything does is they see that something is successful, and they take the wrong thing out of it and milk it. Same thing with like The Matrix. When The Matrix came out, it was one of the greatest. It's the greatest movie of all time. It changed cinema, and all anybody ever fucking took from that movie was bullet time. Bullet time was in every stupid movie afterwards. Thor Ragnarok was funny, so they cranked it up into this one and made him a goddamn Looney Tune. They made Thor the Johnny Bravo. He was always like an off-centered character because he's a fish out of water. He's a god here on Earth, and he doesn't understand any of that stuff. He's a fish out of water, and that's funny with those kinds of experiences. But then it gets to the point where he's cracking jokes, and not even funny jokes, funny in the terms of him being out of place. And then in this one, he's just making just silly, stupid jokes. They have that stupid love triangle, which is the worst thing that they could ever have done in this movie, between Thor and the hammer and the axe. Yeah. Like, that was embarrassing. I was watching this movie like, this is the worst. He's really having like this sexual tension between, his hammer and the other one. So it's just like a dick and dick joke. Like, I don't know where they're coming with this. The gods, like Zeus, was again a complete shambles of a character.
I was annoyed by that.
It was annoying. It wasn't funny. It made him dumb and just a big silly fat guy. The movie started off, oh, this is great. It's him and his daughter dying. I could see where he's getting mad at the gods. And then it just turns into a Looney Tunes afterwards. They wasted Gore. They wasted Christian Bale, where sometimes he's creepy and then other times he's in making jokes and being silly and himself
weird
as well.
Faces too. Yeah.
So I'm no.
I liked his costume, Thor's costume. I think they should keep that because that's like the peak costume for Thor in the MCU. I like the style of the movie with the art direction. I thought it was wonderful. Even with the rushed effects, I think it's one of the nicest looking movies in the Phase 4 lineup. But yeah, I thought it was a totally missed opportunity. Plus, they cut like 40 minutes of the movie, right?
Yeah.
That we're never going to see. That's a shame.
There's okay. So I initially said this was my favorite Phase 4 movie. Having since tried to watch it again, oh my god, no. This was the movie that broke me on the whole Marvel MCU yuck thing that they keep doing with jokes.
Yeah.
And it's gotten so fucking tiresome since then, where I'm just like, I could see where the jokes are coming 9 times out of 10 a mile away, because you have a serious moment and you undercut the serious moment with a stupid joke that really doesn't add anything to the serious moment, but you're trying to break tension and it doesn't really work. Yeah, it's horrible. And it's all over this movie. I like Taika Waititi's sense of humor. This was too much of it. They needed to rein him in, and I think that was the problem. I think with Thor Ragnarok, it was a good balance of the action, the drama, and the sense of humor, and that was great. This felt more like they gave the keys to Taika and said, do whatever you want, and he went way too far with it.
Yeah. If anything, it should have been a super serious movie.
the issue, my biggest gripe with this is that you adopted the God Butcher arc. The God Butcher arc is one of the best modern Thor runs we've had in, I would venture to say, probably the last 10 to 15 years. Jason Aaron crushed this run. And you're introducing a really cool character, really interesting backstory, and it's awesome all the way through up until its finale. And you do nothing with it throughout this movie. Christian Bale, he tries his hardest with the material that they give him, and there is apparently a lot of shit that was left on the cutting room floor. We're talking about whole planets, whole gods, whole really important character scenes involving Christian Bale that, whatever reason, Taika left it all on the cutting room floor, whether it was a Disney mandate or whatever it was. But there is a lot that feels like there's missing to this movie. Honestly, having watched it again, me and my wife sat down and we tried to watch the first 30 minutes of it and we shut it off after this.
So I'm going to be in the same camp as you, Lou, when you were talking about Vision and What If. Same thing with this. If Thor can enchant garbage that these kids picked up off the ground, how come he didn't do that in Endgame or in Infinity War and just enchant everybody's weapons while they were fighting Thanos?
True. Yeah.
Jane Foster is great in this. I think Natalie Portman is really solid in this with what little they give her. I just wish they did more. I honestly wish they did a lot more with it.
Next Imaginaut has similar thoughts. Strongly suspect several of Love and Thunder's actors have intimated to varying degrees that Love and Thunder was essentially gutted and remade by executive mandate.
It feels that way. It was just one silly joke after another silly joke scene with really no connection.
Lena got the better end of the deal. She didn't get to star in the movie and got $7 million out of it. That's awesome. Good for her.
Who was she supposed to be?
I don't think they revealed the actor or the character.
That's right, because everybody thought she was going to be Angela or something. That's right. Anyways,
would have been great.
That movie is the worst. I mean, this is, oh God.
I'm gonna leave. I didn't like it, so I'm gonna. Sorry, Lou.
F.
It's 2 against 1, so it's.
I think it's F.
I'm okay.
I think it needs to be lower.
I've
seen the Serbian film, and this offended me more.
This is your Captain Marvel. Is what this is. This is when you do your big rewatch of the MCU. You just watch a YouTube video, or you skip it completely.
Oh God, yeah. I know. I that's the thing. This is one. I think this is one of the only MCU things that I don't think I can ever watch again.
Yeah.
All right. So
Spider-Man.
So Ant-Man. I was gonna say, since we've been shitting on one so bad, it's the one that we're probably all gonna love.
Spider-Man: No Way Home.
F.
Hey.
I'm kidding.
Hey.
Yeah, I go with A. Yeah, that was easy enough.
I think it's, for me, it's S material. Honestly,
I don't disagree. I don't have a problem to being S or A.
I know some people like to say. I think in our chat, Riley was saying like it undermines MCU. Peter, I'm like, I don't mind. I thought it was awesome to have the two of them tutor the guy in a moment.
Yeah, they're older and they're more experienced, so yeah, they should tutor him.
It fucking redeems Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man.
Oh my God,
awesome, and makes me want to go. Yeah, you bring him back. Let's get another Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movie.
He talk about shitty end of the stick. He got 2 bad Spider-Man films that kind of ruined. Well, thanks to those films being so terrible is why we got Spider-Man in the MCU.
Yeah, that's true. I think so. I have since watched it at home because I own it. I don't think the big reveals watching in a theater with the whole, the first night with an audience and stuff like that, I would have given you the S, because it's like, holy shit, they actually did it. And there was a whole marketing of, are they going to come back? Are they not? There were rumors. There were stuff that got leaked online, but nobody was sure if it was fake or if it was real. And seeing Tobey Maguire come back was just like, I was a kid again. I was like, holy shit, they actually did it. Having since watched it again, I think it loses a little bit of its impact, but it's still just a fun movie all around. And William Dafoe steals every fucking scene he is in these movies.
Dude, all the villains did. Like these villains are the best versions of those villains. Like that was the best Green Goblin, because in the Sam Raimi films he was kind of goofy. Same with Dr. Octopus. I liked him a lot in this one because he became a good guy at one point and was helping out Peter.
They
And
fixed,
Jamie Foxx as
Electro.
Electro, 1000%. He got more of a redemption than Garfield, I think, because he was the worst, goofiest, dumb villain. In this one, they made him an absolute madman and awesome.
William Dafoe is terrifying in this movie.
Yes.
when he, and it gives us my 2 cents. It gives us the best Spider-Man fight scene, and it's in the hallway because this is Spider-Man finally letting loose. He pulls his punches, and here he is not pulling his punches off. Him and Goblin throw down in that hallway, and the motherfucker power bombs him through like 3 flights of stairs.
Speaking of that fight, this is the only complaint. I can't think of anything I don't like about this movie other than them killing Aunt May.
I liked it.
Wasn't for
it
me.
Hurts, but I like it, and I get it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd like to have seen more Marissa Tomei, obviously, and then kind of see her as his aunt when he's grown up and out of the house and stuff. You know, when she has like empty nest syndrome or something. You know,
that was his Uncle Ben moment, though. And what this movie does, Jesus Christ, let's put it on the S column. It deserves it. What this movie does is it gives you greater context of what these 3 Spider-Man films are, which is they are an origin story. All 3 of these Spider-Man films are an origin story that lead to this and him finally becoming the Peter Parker that we know.
Mm-hmm. He even gets the suit at the end.
And he gets the suit at the end where he's living by himself. He doesn't have Tony backing him up. He doesn't have all the high-tech stuff. It's him in a shitty studio apartment and in New York trying to make it.
He has no friends, no girlfriend because they all forgot about him.
Yep.
That's the typical Parker look. Loved it.
Yeah.
As sad as it is. I don't like it too. We finally got a hot Aunt May and only to get rid of her. Well.
Hey, I never asked for a hot Aunt May before, so I'm glad we got it for as long as we did.
You can always go back to.
I didn't know I ever wanted a hot Aunt May until these movies came out.
You can always go back to what's the movie? The Wrestler. If you miss hot Aunt May,
she's great in that movie.
Or my cousin Vinny.
Yeah. Let's keep it an S.
Yeah,
I think it's awesome. Let's do polar opposite. Eternals.
F. Bury it in the ground. Don't even put it on this list.
That's your version of Gabe's review of Thor.
Gabe, how you felt about walking off the plane?
Yeah,
that is how I feel about this movie. Honest to God, 3 times. It took me 3 times to sit through this Benadryl of a movie. Oh my God, I have never, dude. I sat through Thor: The Dark World. And I did not feel as bad finishing that as I did this, where I felt like I genuinely wasted my fucking time. They don't even acknowledge what happens at the end of this movie in the MCU. That is how bad it is. They if Disney could stick this fucker in a vault, they would stick it in the Disney vault.
She-Hulk mentioned had like not even a real reference. It was in the background, kind of
like an Easter egg, on the website.
Yeah, Michael Diaz in the chat. Eternals was a slog to watch in theaters. I agree. I had such high hopes for this movie, such high hopes for Salma Hayek in it, such high hopes for all these characters. But it was just, it all fell flat. It was very drawl, like it was just drawn out.
The
like
best character
more
in the movie
and more.
is the Indian cameraman. The Indian cameraman is the best character.
And that's another thing that I was hating about this Phase 4 is them having that stupid sidekick in every film. It felt like that was unnecessary. They did the same thing with Awkwafina in Shang-Chi. I thought she was not necessary. She was just a backup character, like a sidekick. But they did that with that Asian or that Indian cameraman was there too, like that for no reason. But like even like the Celestials, they looked cool, but I was like, there's nothing's happening. Like they're just having these weird space mind conversations, and Salma Hayek is in it for like not long enough.
That is the greatest sin of this movie. You promised me Salma. You said there would be Salma in this movie. And I got 3 minutes of Salma, and that was it.
And then we get like the villain of the movie is one of them. Spoilers, but the villain of the movie is one of them. Like, come on, like, it wasn't even the deviants really. It was I don't know. And what's her face? And Angelina Jolie was in it, and she was probably one of the better parts with certain scenes, but she was wasted. It wasn't cool.
I knew this movie. I had a gut feeling this was not going to be good when I saw the bum movie, and I was like, this is boring as shit. And sure enough, I kept checking my watch, watching Eternals. And this is worse than Captain Marvel for me.
This felt like 5 hours long.
It feels so long. And the thing is, it's beautiful. All the stuff with the Eternals, how they look, is awesome. They look amazing. All the stuff with the Celestials looks amazing. But a pretty painting is only going to keep me interested for so long.
What's the name of the Celestial that shows up?
I can't think of his name.
Reshiram, whatever the hell his name is. Reshiram is a Pokemon, by the way. I thought that was really cool, and it made me excited to think, oh, Galactus is going to look amazing. Because if this guy looks like this, I can't imagine what Galactus will look like 10 years from now.
Yeah.
So it made me excited for that. But everything else, I just thought it was super meh.
I hope they don't make Galactus like a sparkly creature like the Celestials. I want to be a solid person.
Have they said if they're going to do anything with these characters? They keep hinting. Apparently, actors keep saying, "Yeah, we're going to come back."
I know. Patton Oswalt said there was a sequel in the works.
I doubt it. This tanked. This did horrible. I'm serious. This did not.
I know. Yeah, it did, and that's unfortunate. Like this is like the first misstep or like trip that MCU had, and then it just kind of everything behind it just kept tumbling with it. It felt like for a while too.
I feel bad for the director. I forgot where I heard. I think I heard this or I read this. I feel bad for the director because she originally did not want to do this. This was Marvel Studios that they came to her and said, "No, you'll be perfect for this project. Please do it." And she ended up doing it.
Oh,
and
I'm excited for what's his face as dang it, what's his name? Whitman, the guy that played Jon Snow.
Oh,
no, he's gonna be the Knight, Black Knight, Dark Knight,
something Knight. Yeah,
I'm excited for that. And then they had that really lame, like Blade appearance. Apparently,
just
in the after scene credit, it was really just his voice saying like, "Are you sure about that, Dean Whitman?" And it's like, "That's it." And they're like, "Oh, it's Blade." I'm like, "What are you talking about? It's Blade." It was just a voice. It was just a disembodied voice. Weird. All right. Loki. What do you guys think of Loki?
I think that was the second or the third best TV show for Phase 4.
I think it's a B.
A for me. I think I enjoyed it a little bit more than you guys.
I loved it. I thought the finale was fantastic. Very Planet of the Apes type series.
I enjoyed it. It just didn't. I don't love it. So that's why I think it's a B. But if you guys want to put it at A, put it at A. But
because Hawkeye is lonely up there.
The ending bumps it up to an A for me. The ending is so good to that series.
And we get our first look at the villain. Even though it's a variant, we still get our first look at the Phase, the Multiverse Saga villain in Kang.
Kang, yeah.
What
about What If?
F.
I didn't see it. I didn't even see it. So
good. Don't waste your time.
Don't waste your time.
Really, everybody. I've always heard good reviews or read quick good reviews online and stuff.
It's terrible.
Is it?
I don't know why it got nominated for a what was it? Golden Globe, Emmy, something like that.
Weird. I didn't bother watching it. I just I don't care. I don't want to watch. What if I
don't care what anybody says. Oh, it's an art style and stuff. It looks terrible. The animation is not that great on most of the episodes. The stories aren't that great on most of the episodes. The resolutions of them, not that great. There's a few in there that are pretty cool. The zombies episode is arguably the best episode in there. The Doctor Strange episode is good too, but the rest of it, it's kind of.
I just didn't want to watch anything that wasn't really connected to the movies. I didn't even care.
They had a cool idea with what's her name? Captain America's love interest.
Peggy Carter.
Peggy Carter.
Yeah.
And everybody thought, oh, they're gonna do. It's the same character in the Doctor Strange movie, and it wasn't, and that bummed me out because I thought that would have been perfect. Because when you have animated shows set within a canon universe, usually the studios ignore the animated stuff because there's always a prejudice towards animation. And I thought, man, for once, we're going to get that connection of an animated show bleeding into a live action movie. No, not really.
No, still, The Matrix did it.
At least we got Matrix. At least we got what's his face, Watu. So that's cool.
What?
But it wasn't enough to save the show.
I'm more interested in seeing him in the movies than What If. Like, that's weird. They should have did the What If after they introduced the Watcher, so it made more sense of who the Watcher was. But whatever. Yeah.
2 more.
Werewolf by Night.
Best show, best thing this phase.
Yeah,
Crushed
that's S. It's
by
S.
far. The S plus. This is by far the best thing that they put out. I saw it twice the same night. It's perfect for me. I fucking love this. I want more of it.
It's a damn shame that it's only a stupid TV special. I understand you wanted to do the gimmick, but you have the material there. You could have done a full 90-minute feature on this.
It puts everything else that they've done in this phase. I will stand by this. I think it puts almost everything else done in this phase to shame in terms of creativity,
no argument,
quality, and it's only an hour long. It's only an hour long, which goes to show you don't need to do 2.5 hour to 3 hour movie or thing or anything like that for it to crush. This could have been. I firmly believe this could have been a thing in the theater around October, and this would have killed it in the movie theaters.
I believe so too.
Made it longer.
It was so unexpected too. Like I know there was rumors and kind of mumblings that they were doing something like this, and then they just announced it, and then like 2 weeks later it came out, and it's done, and it's coming out in like 2 weeks kind of thing, and it ended up being fucking perfect. Everything in it was great. The black and white in it, the homage to the old like 30s style horror films,
the Universal Monsters.
The Universal Monsters that were just those horror films in that time in general, like the black and white era of filmmaking and stuff like that. And the transformation where you see him getting all kind of gnarly, like the shadow, and then you see him and he's just like an actual like werewolf. It's not like a Twilight werewolf or anything like that. Where it's more of a man that's a wolf as opposed to a wolf who's a man. So it was really cool that they made him just a normal looking kind of werewolf.
And Teddy showed up.
Yeah. I was about to say, Man Thing is the coolest thing in this thing. He looks
better than some of the more high budget MCU stuff. He looks better than anything they put in Thor: Love and Thunder.
He was practical.
Amazing.
He was a practical effect.
Anything that they put in Thor: Love and Thunder, Man Thing looks 10 times better than that.
Yep.
Because he was a mixture of practical as well. He looks incredible in this. Yep. And not only that, he's awesome. When you first are introduced to him and you think, oh, this guy's he's lovable. Mm-hmm. And then he melts somebody down with his bare hands. You're like, oh my God.
That was great.
And it was a tight story. It wasn't drawn out. It's like immediately it starts. The opening is in the castle or whatever, and it's like, hey, here's our kind of quest for tonight. Everybody go out and kill monsters. See you in 20 minutes or whatever, right? And it just went on from there. It immediately got right into the story. As soon as the feet touched the ground, it never stopped running, and it just great all the way through. I'm gonna watch it again tonight. Now, damn it.
The strongest thing about this for me is that they stick to the central purpose, which is this is supposed to be a vintage Universal monster movie. And from the very beginning, from the opening credits, from the start, you're in for something special because they commit to it.
Oh, yeah.
And
all the way through. They didn't waver from it at all or anything.
They don't do the yucks. They don't do the jokes. They play it straight, and they play it like they should. There's no... Well, this is a serious moment, and then I'm going to throw in a stupid little comment here to try to make you laugh. There's none of that. This is
any kind of humor in it is organic, and that's the one thing about the MCU with these like yucks is that it's not organic, and that's what this is different. The little jokey things in here is organic.
This is Michael Giacchino. He is he isn't even a director of movies. He does scores. He does music,
and he did the best thing they've done. Is just some guy that's a lighting person.
He does music.
Yeah, or he's a music person. Excuse me. Yeah, how great is that?
He's a great composer.
And that's one of the things that we're missing here with these movies is that they used to get these auteurs. They used to get like high end directors to do stuff, and they kind of stepped away from that. And now we got this guy who's just a masterpiece. Give this guy the Fantastic Four movie.
Give him Blade. They're looking for a Blade director, right?
Yes.
Give him
Blade. You're absolutely right.
I think it opens the door for the horror universe, if you will, because I think they really need to center that with Blade and Elsa Bloodstone.
Yeah.
I think those two characters are key figures into this. If you want to do like a little corner of the Marvel universe with the horror stuff, and you could introduce a whole bunch of other characters, from Dracula to reintroduce Moon Knight, Morbius, if they ever get the rights back.
Yeah, they keep talking about doing like a Midnight Suns thing. That's all like the supernatural characters.
Yeah. Ghost Rider,
Ghost
all
Rider.
of these characters can play together in that mini universe.
And what's great also about this is it's violent, and it's really violent. They go for it, and they go for it hard.
Yeah, because there's no red blood.
That's why they didn't get a TVMA or a rated R, because there's no red blood. They use that black and white to their advantage, and they go for really gory stuff that they normally would not go for. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I love this. I'm gonna watch it again tonight. Talking about it just makes me want to revisit it. Give him Dracula versus Blade. Fargate's a good idea. I think just keep him in the horror genre for Marvel films. Let him do Blade. Let him do Ghost Rider. Let him do something. Like, give this guy more work.
Yeah,
he probably did this for nothing. He probably did this for cheap, because he's not a named director, right? And he produces the best thing that they've done. God. All right, WandaVision.
The one that started Phase 4, WandaVision.
I'm gonna give it an A.
Yeah, I don't disagree with A. I liked
it
all the way through.
A lot of cool things, and it brought this new era of Marvel, of TV, and done right with a budget. And was it 6 episodes? No, not 6 episodes.
I think it was 8.
8 or 9, something like that.
Yeah.
9 concise episodes. Sure, the finale some people didn't like, because it goes into the whole super heroic formula. But hey, it's based on a comic book, so I can't fault it for that. They went with what's normal or the standard to go into the super heroics.
Yeah.
But I thought the story of Wanda was great, and the freaking thing that they did with each episode representing an era of television was beautiful. And I just enjoyed it overall. I thought it was one of the best of the TV shows overall.
Yeah, I think it was the best one to kind of jumpstart this whole phase. After no more movies and stuff like that with the pandemic and everybody sitting at home, this came out at the right time, and it was great. And I loved the first 2 episodes, the black and white ones, when they were kind of doing that homage to like I Love Lucy era and things like that. Those are the ones that people seem to complain about, but I like those because those were the ones where you were like, I don't know what's going on here. I'm completely lost. Like, what's the deal? Why is it black and white? Where's this town? All this kind of stuff, right? So that was the one that really built the series, right? You got along, you got into like the 90s style shows, the 80s and the 70s stuff. It was great. It had a point, and it went through all of it. I like the ending. I like it. I like that final fight between Agatha and all of them.
Yeah. No,
the only thing that was dumb was the whole that really pissed me off, and it keeps it out of an S tier for me. Is the whole thing with Quicksilver and John Boner or whatever
Frank
his name
Boner.
was.
Yeah, I was pissed. I was pissed.
Yeah, dude, I was so upset by that. I was like, "Come on, you guys are really gonna just do that and just fucking fool around with us that way?" I felt very betrayed. I never felt betrayed before.
And the conversation on Twitter every week. Oh, Mephisto's going to show up. Oh, Mephisto! I was so annoyed by. I don't want Mephisto to show up.
That was the idiot fans, but them doing that with Boner and it being the same actor as Quicksilver and making him technically Quicksilver in here for like half a minute and then saying nope, it's not. It's just a guy. And it's like, come on, dude! Like that's deceitful. You switched it out on me that's not cool.
Yeah, no,
I was so mad.
I'm in agreement with you guys. This was fantastic. Yeah. I thought this was one of their best projects for this phase. The whole concept of each episode is kind of a different era in television leading up to the finale, and when they stopped doing that was really interesting. It was really cool, and I love how they played with that. The first episode where it's black and white and kind of an I Love Lucy style there's a moment towards the end where it's genuinely kind of terrifying, where you have
they're at dinner.
Yeah, the dinner scene where you have Red Foreman's wife. I can't remember her name. She's a great actress, and she starts laughing nervously, and she's saying, "Wanda, stop it." And she's fighting back, trying to get serious because she's smiling and stuff. It's a really powerful moment. I think they stick the landing really well on this overall. They still have not paid off with the Vision stuff, but that's probably going to come later on.
He's getting his own series.
Yeah,
White Vision.
Yeah, so they're gonna pay off with that stuff later. The thing that bothers me the most isn't even about this. It's that they pretty much undo everything for Doctor Strange. The character growth that she goes, and I know some people say, well, she's using the Black Book and stuff like that. That's just a fucking lazy excuse, writing wise, to kind of turn her bad.
And there's one more plot thread, and that's related to Secret Invasion. Because at the end, there's a tease for that. I don't want to spoil it just in case, but we are getting Secret Invasion in a couple months, so I'm super excited for that.
And it gave us back Darcy and Wong. No, not Wong. What's the guy's name?
From Ant-Man.
Jimmy Woo.
Jimmy Woo.
Yeah.
So we got back Darcy, who I love because I love Kat Dennings' boobs. And Jimmy Woo's cool.
They give us Monica Rambeau.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was kind of my least interesting part of it. I feel like, if I think about it, I don't know if I cared about that as much, but it's cool to see her there. It was cool to see it happen and everything. It was great to bring her in.
Yeah. So this was great overall. This was really fun. I think Agatha's awesome as a villain, and I can't wait to see what they do with her.
You can introduce more supernatural characters on our show.
Hoping.
Yeah. So, what do we think of the final ranking here for Phase 4? Anything we want to change?
I'm good.
We got S tier. We got Shang-Chi, Spider-Man, Werewolf by Night. At A, we got Hawkeye, Loki, WandaVision. B, we got Miss Marvel, Wakanda Forever, and Multiverse of Madness. C, you got She-Hulk and Black Widow. D, you got Moon Knight and Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And then F, Thor, Love and Thunder, Eternals, and What If. I think it's pretty valid.
That F rolls great. Those things are all garbage.
Yeah.
That's great because Gabe hates Thor, Lou hated Eternals, and I hated What If. So one for each. Love it.
It worked out.
Yeah. I'm good with that.
I think
Cleveland Brown, real quick, goes, since we're ranking things, how about we rank phases 1 through 4? 4 is obviously the worst.
I would do 3, 1, 2, 4.
Same.
I don't know which ones which ones have which movies. I can't really think of it right now. 3 is definitely would be the best. I think I agree with Gio.
Yeah.
Because that's Endgame, Infinity War,
and
Guardians.
I think Civil War is part of that as well.
Yes, Civil War is 3. Yeah, probably. Yeah.
That Winter Soldiers, that's 2, right? Because that's my favorite Marvel movie.
Winter Soldiers 2, yes, because that was Captain America 2. Yeah. I don't know, but Phase 2 had Ant-Man and Iron Man 3 and Thor 2, which aren't that great compared to
Phase 3 is Civil War, Doctor Strange, Guardians 2, Spider-Man Homecoming, Thor Ragnarok, Black Panther, Infinity War, Ant-Man and Wasp, Captain Marvel, Endgame, and Far From Home.
Black Panther, yeah, it has a lot more. So.
Yeah, Phase 3 it knocks it. Phase 3 was just banger after banger, pretty much. I mean, you had a few flops here and there, Captain Marvel, but you had really ones that were just banger after banger in Phase 3 for me. Phase 3 was when Marvel, I think, was at its peak, and we're kind of seeing just a little bit of a slump right now where it was an event. Like, you guys, everybody went to the theater opening night because you didn't want anything spoiled, literally anything. And it was a cultural phenomenon where it was, I still remember going to see Infinity War, where the line was wrapped literally around my movie theater. It was huge. And if you did not get tickets to see it, you weren't going to see it. Endgame was the same thing. They were doing 3 a.m. showings of Endgame that were sold out, and people were showing up for them.
Yeah. No. I remember going to see Avengers, and then that end scene with Thanos, and just the whole place erupted.
Yeah.
And everybody's going out, and I'm walking out, and I'm the guy with the Infinity Gauntlet tattoo on his arm. I remember that. I have some great memories from watching these films. Dude, Infinity War. I think Infinity War is the best one that they've done because they did the snap, and I was like, they did it. I didn't think they would do it. I didn't think they were going to make that a thing. I thought it was going to not happen or whatever the case is. but they did it, and not only that, but they made it last for 5 years. Like it wasn't like in the comics where it was kind of like a weekend vacation.
I think for me, Infinity War is better than Endgame.
Yep.
Because I think the pacing is better, and I've rewatched it more times than Endgame, and not only that, goddamn, Thanos is so fucking threatening.
Oh, dude,
motherfucker.
He's a monster in Infinity War. A monster. He beats up the Hulk like nothing. He's so scary. And then in the second one, it's they kill him and then they bring him back, and he's not that menacing, or it's I don't know, but. And then the whole like time travel. I hate time travel stories, man. I'm
the same boat as you.
I that and resurrections and things like that are the things that ruin pop culture and stuff like superhero stuff for me. And I hope they don't lean into it too much, where it gets too convoluted, or they lean on it too hard for things. But for me, I think my ranks would be 3, 1. Those original films are spectacular. 3, 1, 2, and 4 is an F.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I totally agree with you.
And that's just, and for me, when I'm talking about Phase 4, I'm talking about just the movies. I'm comparing movies to movies.
I think a lot of people are wondering online what's the deal in the slump with Marvel and stuff like that. I think, me personally, it's too much of a good thing, because Marvel movies were an event. You would go 1 to 2 times a year to go see your Marvel film, and you'd be jonesing for the next one. But the problem is, we are constantly getting Marvel stuff now, and I think it's a bit too much. I think they need to scale back for the next phase on projects and really focus on quality over quantity. Werewolf by Night showed us you don't need to do 10-episode series for Ms. Marvel or anything like that. You could do a 4 to 3 episode series, and it could be a banger. It could be great.
I think this is I'm gonna borrow this from Rob Liefeld. He was talking about this on his podcast, and I agree with him. And I wanted to bring it up here. Is that this is like Star Wars, where when you were a kid, it was the greatest thing in the world, and then as you kind of grew up, the movies didn't really kind of grow up with you. They kind of stayed as kids. So that's how you got like the Ewoks and everything got really kiddie and niche-y and things like that towards the end of Star Wars. Same thing here. So at this point, they can either go Star Wars, or they can go like Werewolf by Night and do more R-rated stuff and more hard stuff and more like you said, quality stuff. Or they could end up going a hard right and just keep it all yucks and jokes that aren't organic and that aren't really there for us. So
yeah, I gotta be honest, I'm kind of nervous with the Deadpool 3 with Wolverine and stuff, because I don't know where they're gonna go with it. And I trust Ryan Reynolds, because I know it's a passion project. And I trust that team, and we know they keep insisting it's going to be a hard rated R. We're letting you know right now. We're not going to pull back on it. So we'll see what happens.
We'll see. I mean, I understand Ryan Reynolds' passion project, but it's Disney's property. Sure. They can do it's them. They want to make it yuck, jokes. They can, but we'll see. I hope it's not. And it makes me this phase. Yeah, it made me a little nervous for Fantastic Four. Like we lost a director. And then we got the director for WandaVision, which I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. But I was hoping for more of a bigger name or more experienced name with supernatural stuff or with sci-fi stuff.
As much as I love Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, I don't need to see him again. Because Logan was a beautiful send-off to that character. I don't need to see anything else about it.
Yeah, I'm good with them recasting him. I think it's time. It's inevitable. It's going to have to happen sooner or later. So let's do it while he's still relevant and that doesn't get ruined by silly movies or something like that, But I'm good if you guys are good.
I'm good.
Lou, ready to make this wrap up? All right, everybody. Well, thank you all for joining in on the conversation, letting us kind of chit chat with ourselves about what we felt the rankings are currently for MCU Phase 4 endeavors. If you're watching this on the rewind, hit us up in the chat. Give us your ranking. You agree? Yep. You don't agree? What's your take? Give us your hot takes. Let us know what you didn't like. If you're a audio person, we do have this set up as a podcast as well. Every day after an episode, the audio podcasts go up, so you get us on every podcast platform basically out there. So hit us up there, subscribe, leave us reviews there. And everybody, we hope you have a great night. Lou, where can everybody find you at, my man?
Well, we did do the second IST plug, so we should
Oh,
probably.
Jesus Christ. All right. Well, let's make that work.
I'll plug that real quick.
I was like, I'm ready to go. Let's do it. All right, everybody. So thanks to our amazing, wonderful, phenomenal sponsor. We're talking about IST, InStockTrades.com, everybody. Don't pay full cover price for your omnibuses, collected editions, hardcovers, trade paperbacks, graphic novels. You want to hit up InStockTrades.com, where you're able to get all of those trade paperbacks, mangas, hardcovers, omnibuses, all your collected edition needs up to 50% off. Also, there is a $50 gift card that we give away live on this show on the last Monday of the month show. So make sure you watch us live so you can join in for a free $50 gift card that's available for anybody across the world, not just the US or anything like that. Awesome packaging, amazing customer service, InStockTrades.com, everybody. What do you got there, Gio? What are we looking at? What have we got going on this week?
Deals of the week from IST. All the books that people can get.
50% off Grayson?
Grayson Omnibus, reprint, Ultimates Omnibus from Marvel.
Young Justice trade paperbacks 50% off.
Yeah, that's the final.
I love that Ultimate series, man. If you guys don't have Ultimates, check that out. It's a little dated with some of the references, like it's a lot of Freddie Prinze Jr. jokes and stuff like that. But man, it's Brian Hitch, it's Mark Miller. I mean, I'm reading Authority right now, and it's a combination of both of those guys, so that's really cool. It's a great series. What else is on here? Phantom. Die. Oh, Die is a great. I didn't know there was a Die hardcover. Oh my god, what is that? All 20 issues? Yes.
Yep.
I need this. Damn it! That was such a good series. I love Die. How much is it on IST? 42% off. That's awesome.
Yeah. And look at that. The bestseller right now is Berserk Deluxe Edition Volume 12.
I'm surprised they still got the Miracle Man omnibuses in.
I think all three are available. And look at that. Avengers vs. X-Men. Don't get that.
Ugh.
Get Miracle Man and Berserk.
Get Die, everybody.
And get Die. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. I don't mean that as in like a go out and die, but get the book Die. Yeah. Especially if you're a D&D fan or if you're like a role-playing game fan. Yeah, it's perfect. All right. So that's that. Gio, where can everybody find you at, my man?
A Week in Geekdom, where I talk about anime and manga. I just put up my anime collection video, and tomorrow you guys are going to get the manga collection video. So look forward to that. Subscribe and support the channel. A Week in Geekdom. That's the name of the channel.
And everybody, you can find me, Gabe Loves 90s Comics, on Instagram. And then you can always find me on Thursdays on the Lords of the Long Box on YouTube as well. Nice. And for the people asking in the chat, this Batman Spawn that's coming out today, there's a deluxe hardcover coming out later.
You gonna wait for that one?
I'm gonna wait for that. That's gonna have the new series too that they're doing with Greg Capullo. So that's the one. That's the one to get.
Yeah, that's the one to hold out for then.
Yeah, so it's gonna have both series, the 2022 series and the 1994 series. So yeah. And it's a standard size hardcover, and the new one that'll be coming out to deluxe, apparently. So,
okay.
All right, dudes. That is that, everybody. Thanks again for showing up. Deuces.
Peace out, homies.
I can find that. We're out of here, video. We're out of here, video.
Night, everyone.
God, Love and Thunder is shit and shit.